Welcome back to LittleLee and Rose. My name is Summer Noel, and today we are going to do the small latte and slushy cups. This is a really, really fun one. We're going to use a bunch of different supplies and tools and techniques to create different cups. I'm going to do 3 different ones for you today. We are going to do an iced vanilla latte, a mocha frappuccino, and a slushy. So we're going to do the 3 different things. We're going to have a bunch of different supplies. You're going to need alcohol inks in the browns. I've got a white alcohol ink ready to go. This is a piñata. I've also got the Ranger. I think this is Tim Holtz's Ranger. This is latte. This is going to be the light brown. Then we've also got the Ranger Tim Holtz espresso inks. All right, guys, those are the 3 ink colors I'm going to work with. But again, it's all personal preference. Use what you guys want. You don't have to use these exact colors. Any browns that you have, or if you make your own alcohol inks with following my brown alcohol ink tutorial with the dollar store supplies, you can use that as well. I've got my stir sticks handy. I've got all my little mixing cups ready to go. We are going to set this aside. I'm going to get all set up. I'm going to show you some more supplies in the next little bit. But I'm going to walk you through each one as a detailed product individually. So you will see what supplies you need for the slushy, and then you'll see what you need for the frappuccino and for the mocha latte. All right, or sorry, vanilla latte. All right, guys, so I'm going to step off here, get all set up, and we'll jump right in. All right, for this section, we are going to work on our whipped toppings. We are not going to make a whipped topping for the slushy, but we are going to make toppings for the others, and I'm just going to show you different varieties. There's a lot of ways to make these toppings, you guys. These are just some things that I've played with. I've got the Elmer's glue with the spackle. I've got caulking. I've got texture paste. I'm going to show you how to do this 3 different ways. So whatever you have laying around your house, most of the stuff, this was from the dollar store, this was from the dollar store. The piping bags were in the baking section of my dollar store, guys. So you can find some of these items really, really inexpensive, or something you might already have at your house. A lot of us already have spackle and Elmer's glue. It works great, guys. Or if your husband has a product, or you've been doing a project like resealing your bathtub and you have some of this, it works great. So they all work. They all have a different texture. I'm going to work with all 3 of them. That way you can see the difference in textures and the way that they lay and the way that they work. And then you can kind of go from there and pick them what you like. All right, so let's just jump right in, and we're going to start with a more difficult one, the one that actually needs mixing, which is going to be the spackle and Elmer's glue. All right, guys, I'm going to grab a bowl. We'll be right back. All right, so we are ready to go here. I've got my little mixing cup. I'm gonna just use an old little ball jar that I have laying around. I've got my stir stick. It's got a little scooper on the end. It's great. Got my Elmer's glue ready. I've got my spackle ready to go. So we are just gonna take this. I'm gonna mix a lot, guys, because I'm gonna make a lot of these. So I have them already on hand for each project that I do. You can pre-mix these, guys. They just keep them in a Ziploc bag once they've cured and hardened up. And then they're ready for the next time you do some more of these. So you don't have to make them every single time. You make a big batch of them and have them ready. These make really fun back to school gifts, teacher gifts. These make really good stocking stuffers. These are just really fun. Everyone loves these, guys. So you can't go wrong giving this to somebody. Find out what their custom drink is and create something amazing for them. So I'm just gonna make a good big batch. Maybe I'll just even do this whole thing. Why not? All right, well, that's good enough. All right, almost all of it. Then you want to use your Elmer's glue. Now the Elmer's glue is what's going to kind of give it the more creamy look as opposed to the chunky look. So we are going to take this, it's all ready to go, and we are going to put the Elmer's in there. I probably should just take the lid off. And we are going to mix this up. You don't want it equal parts. You just want to just add the Elmer's, stir it up. It's kind of like making pancake batter, where you're going to add a good amount, then you're going to stir it, see where you're at, and potentially add more as you go. All right, so I'm going to stir this, but we're going to put you in high speed. You don't need to watch me slow speed stir. All right, guys, so now what you're watching me do, you saw me do a few of them. We are going to be working with, this is the mastic caulk. This is at dollar store. This specific one is at Dollar Tree, but you can get these in any hardware department or dollar store. Like I said, I always try to keep my supplies as low as I can, so I have a better margin if I'm selling things. Because you can buy this at the dollar store for 99 cents, or you can buy it at Home Depot or Lowe's for like $3. So why not buy it at the dollar store? But if you don't have a dollar store near you, you do have access to these at hardware stores. And if you ask your spouse, They might even know if you have some laying around the house. That was definitely not a perfect circle, guys. I am not a good drawer. I'm not a good artist when it comes to drawing pictures. Sorry, you could hear my triplets in the background. They're having fun. They're officially 3 years old now. They're making us crazy. We have 3-nagers. They did not nap today. They all climbed out and woke up their sister, because we have one that loves her sleep. They woke that one up. Then they pulled every toy down in their room and played instead of napping. We just watch them on the monitor to make sure nobody gets hurt. We just leave them in there having quiet time. So we call it, even though they're not being quiet. So here we go. We're doing some swirls. So you can see these are not perfect. I am not perfect. But actually it's kind of more endearing. Maybe if I could get this, let's see if I can get a perfect circle. I'm going to concentrate real hard. Ooh, fill in the middle. Okay, middle's filled. Okay, and this one, I'm going for perfection on this one, guys. Oh boy. I don't know. Oh, that's a good one. All right, so I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to move this and onto another flat surface next to the ones that we did with the spackle, and we'll be right back. Okay, now for this next one, we are going to be using the Ranger texture paste. This is something you can build up. It holds its shape and its form. It is a little more expensive. I believe this is about $6 at Michael's, $7 maybe, or online on Amazon. It runs about $7 to $8. So I don't want to use as much as I'm going to just use what I need today. I use the others because I had so much of it, and it's very inexpensive, so I wasn't worried about wasting. But this one I'm going to be a lot more careful about what I use because I don't want to waste, because this is more expensive. But you'll see this one has, I personally, this is my favorite look. If I'm going to choose a look, I love it. I don't know. I like the really natural ones. You'll see. You'll just see there's a lot more texture in this one. So we're going to make maybe 2 or 3. We'll see how much I'm putting in here. I might be putting enough for like 4. So I'm just using my little silicone spatula. These are available on LittleLeeandRose.com. If we are sold out, you can also go to Wicked Shimmer. She also carries them. Wicked Shimmer is amazing, you guys. You hear me talk about her a lot. That's Corey over at Wicked Shimmer. She's a lot of fun stuff. All right, so we've got the texture paste. We're going to move that off to the side. So now you're going to see when I pipe this out, I'm going to put my little stir stick off to the side. I'm going to fold the top over. I'm going to squeeze it down. And you're going to see that this one comes out a lot different shape. It holds the shape a lot better. There we go. And you'll see as we go that that one does not fall. It holds that exact shape as we move forward. Boop. Oops. Boop. Push it down. There we go. I don't know, but there might be enough for one more. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, just shy. But I can go. And I don't waste anything, so we're gonna just make it work. All right, guys, so there you go. So you can see, even over those last couple of seconds, when I worked with the plaster, spackle, it's called spackle, it had already started kind of falling, and it didn't hold its shape, but it still looked like whipped cream. You can see, then you saw with the silicone caulk, that's more of like a tube swirl, and this is more of the ripply swirl. So it's kind of just personal preference, what you got laying around, what you want to work with. All right, guys, so there is those. We're going to put these off to the side. We're going to let these dry for a full 24 hours while we work on the other ones. All right, guys, we are back. I am wearing my chemical mask. I've got my nitrile gloves on. We're going to work with the epoxy now. We are going to do the red cherry slushy. It's going to be super duper cute. It's pretty easy. What I've got in here is rock salt. Again, this is just a jar that I get from the dollar store of rock salt. I got it out of the cooking section, the food section. It's super cheap. Then I've also got my epoxy. It's not mixed yet. It's ready to mix. You're going to see. I'm using the LittleLee and Rose epoxy. Currently, this is only available in swag bags through LittleLee and Rose on our website, www.littleeandrose.com. The reason I like to use our epoxy specifically for these cups is it's almost impossible to make this stuff bubble. You can put it in a shaker and shake it up, and it won't really get any bubbles. You might have one or two, but it's not a lot. Then I'm going to be using pigments. I get almost all my micas from Geisha Glimmer. I've got a few oddballs here and there that I've gotten, but she has the absolute best, most beautiful micas. I'm going to work with her, the basic colors, like the rainbow colors today. And actually, I am only going to, you can see they come in a rainbow pack. These are so fun. These are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful additives for your epoxy to add the color. But I'm going to set these off to the side because we are going to make a cherry slushy today. We're not going to need all this epoxy, guys. I mixed this because we're going to be using this for the other cup as well. So I'm going to get the red. I'm going to mix up my epoxy. This is by weight. LittleLee and Rose epoxy is by weight. So if it looks a little odd, if you can tell it on camera, there is 15 grams of part A and 5 grams of part P. It is a 3-to-1 mixture. It's a lot more fluid than other epoxies that you're used to. But it does not bubble at all, and it has a very, very high heat tolerance. So if this is someone's keychain and they accidentally leave their keys in their friend's hot car over while they're on vacation or wherever they're going, it's not going to affect the heat of that car. It's not going to affect this epoxy because it has like a 500-degree heat tolerance. All right, guys, and then this is mica powder. Geisha Glimmer has all the epoxy additives, the mica powders and all that amazing stuff. I just got this set from her in the mail. I was super duper excited, and then I told her what I was doing, and she's like so excited for me to show it off. I was going to do a swirly of a color, but we're just going to stick with red today. And so we're going to open this up so you guys can really get a good look at it. So it's just brilliant, gorgeous mica powder. All right, so we are going to stir up our epoxy, and we're going to add one little scoop on the end of this stick. My little scooper stick, my stir stick, and add it in there. All right, guys, just so you know, I'm still wearing my nitrile gloves. I'm still wearing my chemical mask. This is very important because we still have this epoxy all mixed up, and it's doing its chemical reaction. And even though LittleLee and Rose is a VOC-free epoxy, I'm always overcautious. It's not worth getting sick, not worth finding out in 20 years that we shouldn't have been breathing this in. So I'm just really, really careful because I know there is a chemical reaction happening there. And I had a ding-dong blonde moment, and I forgot to separate my epoxy into another cup. So I did, in fact, mix one giant batch of epoxy in the same color. So if you are in my LittleLee and Rose group, guess what this is going into? A button! Because I probably will have extra, so we'll be adding it to one of my beautiful buttons. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pour this right onto this rock salt. I'm going to start with half. It's going to be just like making pancakes again. And we're going to stir it into that rock salt. Get that color all through that rock salt. So you can see the beautiful vibrant red. It's so fun. And it makes it coated. It's going to coat what we're going to call the ice for the slushy. You don't want to get too much because then it gets too drippy. So like I said, it is kind of like making pancakes again, where you just add a little. I've done it a lot, so I almost nail it on the head every time. But just add a little bit at a time, stir it, and see if you need more. And just keep adding until you get what you want. This looks perfect, so now we're going to take it. See, I mixed all that extra epoxy. Woo! And you know me, guys, I'm frugal. So now I'm going to pour it right into my cup, very carefully. These cups, you guys, are available on littleeandrose.com website, guys. They come in a set of 5. They're really fun. They're a really, really fun little gift. They're also great little add-on gifts, so if you're making a fun cup for somebody and you want to send a little thank you gift and you want it to be a homemade little treasure, everyone loves these guys, so you can't go wrong adding this to the bag, the mail bag with your product that you're selling your customer. Oh, these are so cute. All right, we're just gonna pile it up again. We're gonna pile it all the way up like a snow cone to the lid because when we were kids, who remembers taking the Slurpee, putting the lid on, and then going and filling it all the way up inside that lid, right? Remember? That was our favorite. So we're just gonna, I want it to look a little natural, so I'm not gonna make it too perfectly round. You just wanna make sure that there's nothing on this outside edge to stop the lid from actually going on. So we're just gonna pat it down into a little mound. And we're gonna set this to the side and let it dry. Let's test our lid. Yep, lid still fits. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this to the side and let it cure up. Actually, I'm gonna press it down in there a little bit more. All right. Perfect. Sorry, I could see that there was like some gapping down here, so I'm pressing it down in to make sure it's all the way in there. All right, guys. All right. So that one, we're just going to set this off to the side now. We're going to let this cure for about probably 24 hours by the time I get back to it. But really, you only need like 8 or 9 for it to really solidify and be done and move on to the next step. But I already know my filming schedule for you guys, so I probably won't get this again until tomorrow. So this one will sit for about 24 hours. Okay, and on to the next one. Here we go, guys. All right, guys, we are about to start working on our little mocha frappuccino. We've got our little cup ready here. We've got our UV light over here to the right. This is just gonna simulate the sun. If you don't have a UV light for like doing your nails or a little UV flashlight, you could just set the cup outside. That's all you gotta do. This is just, I'm indoors here in my workshop, so this is just meant to simulate the sunlight over here because I don't have time to run in and out while I film for you guys. I want to get these videos out to you guys as fast as possible. So we're just going to simulate the sun here. We are going to mix some dark brown UV resin. This is the LittleLee and Rose UV resin. This is available on our website, you guys, so it's easy to find. We'll also have an Amazon link for you for the different brands if it's easier for you guys to buy through Amazon instead of our website. No big deal. What we're going to do is that's just the UV resin. I put a little bit in there, probably more than I need. And now we're going to add the dark brown. This is going to be espresso. I was going to use the inks, guys, but I'm going to show you how you could do it with this because inks are a little pricey. And these acrylic paints are really inexpensive. You can get them at Walmart, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, pretty much any craft store. They're really inexpensive at Walmart. So because all you need is 1 drop. So don't run out and get alcohol inks, guys. You can use your acrylic paint. All right, guys, this is what we're going to do. I will always try to give you guys the budget-friendly option if there is one. So you can use the alcohol inks. They work great. They just have a different look. Everything is going to be personal preference while you're doing this. I'm going to start with 1 drop because, like I said, the epoxy will get gummy if you add too much acrylic paint to it, and it gets weird and stringy. We don't want that. So we just want a good, maybe 1 more drop. We want it very opaque. So that's just 2 drops of that dark brown espresso in there. Okay, we're gonna do this slow and steady as it goes because I want to get a really good look for the drip. So I'm gonna do this on high speed. What I'm gonna do, well, I'll do the first one slow speed. I'm gonna get my light ready. There we go, get it turned on. And I'm gonna do my chocolate drizzle in my cup. And I'm gonna do a little bit at a time so that the drizzle does not, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna drip and let it run down the side of the cup just like they do in Starbucks. They just kind of pour it in and let it drip down the side of the cup. And then I'm gonna stick that under the light and let that sit for the 120 seconds, and that's gonna hold it there. That's actually gonna cure that epoxy super duper fast. I'm actually gonna move this epoxy so it doesn't affect it by the light. It's gonna cure that epoxy really, really fast inside there. It takes about 120 seconds per round, but it's gonna freeze it in place so it doesn't all just drip to the bottom of the cup and pool up. All right, guys, so you saw me do it. It's just a quick little drizzle, put it in there, let it run 120 seconds. I'm gonna put you on high speed. We're gonna finish out the whole cup all the way around, just doing that. All right, guys, you can see we have the little chocolate drizzle all along the outside. It's gonna stay in place because that UV resin has cured up. It's very easy to work with. I love this stuff. It's really fun to do the toggles, like the name badge toggles with this stuff, or little jewelry pieces. It's just really, really fun. So we've got the cup now ready with the chocolate. Now we're gonna make the middle frappuccino part. This is supposed to represent a mocha frappuccino. So let's make that frappuccino's, the blended frappuccino. I'm gonna just go ahead and stick this under the light one more time and just let it sit there, totally cure up. Give it a little extra time under that blue light, simulating the sun while we do this other process. This is why I usually do more than one at a time, you guys. That's why because I always mix way too much epoxy. So I'm gonna set that off to the side. I'm just giggling at myself. Happens every time. And because that's UV, I'm not gonna use it on one of my buttons. Okay, cleaned off, and just like that, I cleaned off just with a paper towel. And there we go. So now we're gonna take the LittleLee and Rose epoxy again. We're gonna mix this with the 2/3, 1/3. I'm sure I'm gonna mix too much as always. So here we go. All right, guys, we are now gonna move on to the blended iced part. Again, probably mixed too much epoxy because my scale wasn't reading it because I have epoxy all over my scale because I'm so busy I forget to clean off the scale, so it's built up on there. But I've got my silicone stick, I've got my little mix. This is a 3-to-1 mixture of the LittleLee and Rose. Again, I love this because it has 0 bubbles that you have to contend with trying to deal with down inside that cup. You can just stir it furiously. Mixes really fast. You can see there's not any bubbles in there. There's like 2 or 3, nothing to contend with. You could probably just let it sit for about 2 minutes and all those bubbles will come out. Amazing. All right, so what we're gonna do is by the way, this epoxy is not for sale on the open market, guys. You have to get it only through Swag Bag right now. So we're gonna do 2 drips of this light beige, beautiful, like milky coffee with all the beautiful creamers. And we're gonna do 1 drip of the dark, just so it's not just too light. And we're gonna stir that up. We're now working on getting our coffee color, guys. Before we were working to get, we were working towards getting the perfect color for the chocolate. Now we're working on getting the perfect color for the coffee. So we're just gonna keep adding drips of paint and stirring it vigorously. I'm a little scared to show you this thing because I know you guys will try to use it and it will be chaos for you. We're gonna add another little drip. Keep it going, keep it going. That's looking better. Okay, I'm gonna show you something, guys. Hopefully this does not blow up in my face. I do not recommend using this tool unless you are very skilled. I'm probably gonna even regret showing you this. This will mix your epoxy. This is used to make frothing foam in the kitchen. I have never mixed in this little tiny cup. I always mix in my big bowl, so this could go, I'm laughing because this could be our blooper reel right here. I've only ever done it in a big bowl. You cannot use this on any epoxy other than LittleLee and Rose, you guys, because it's too thick and the spinner won't spin. So hopefully my hand's out of the way, but you can see this is gonna whip our epoxy together. Now, any other epoxy is too thick to use this. It's not powerful enough. And it only works on LittleLee and Rose because LittleLee and Rose, you can see the bubbles are just coming straight to the top and popping. It does not hold bubbles. Now, I just washed this out over the trash can with soap and water. I just kind of pour soap and water over it. I tap all the extra epoxy to get it out, and then I wash it with soap and water over my trash can, guys. I don't let that go down my drain. All right, I'm gonna put that off to the side. We'll clean it in a minute because we've got some curing time on there. So now we have this beautiful, creamy color. And we're gonna do the same thing we did with the slushy. We're gonna pour this over our ice and stir it in. Oh my gosh, it actually looks like coffee. It looks like nope, and I might have actually put too much in there. We'll see. Oh no, it's gonna be perfect. So this one I'm going to make it a little thicker because we're not going to mound this one up like we did with the other. This is just meant to look like ice inside the coffee. The rock salt simulates the ice. Then we're going to just take our little cup, pour it in there, make sure all the ice goes in there. Fill it to the top. So this is meant to represent like the ice chips inside the frappuccino. And it looks amazing. I can't tip it to the side yet. You guys will have to wait till the curing process so I can tip it to the side and show you the chocolate drips. It's going to look awesome. All right, guys, we'll be right back. We're going to do our third one. Okay, for this one, now we are going to use the UV resin again. And the reason we're going to do that is because we want it to cure quickly. Because we don't want the colors fusing together and mixing together while the epoxy slowly cures over hours and hours and hours. We want to freeze it in time as we're kind of mixing the white and the caramel color for our vanilla latte together. So we're going to be using the UV resin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 different cups. I'm going to guesstimate on how many milliliters I have. I should have probably measured this out, but like I said, I usually do like 10 of these at a time, so I'm not used to doing these tiny little batches. This is a whole new world for me, teaching you guys these little things. Because usually when I'm doing stuff with you, it's a giant project of epoxy. Sorry, you can hear my triplets in the background. They are officially three-nagers. They are giving us a run for our money right now. Holy banole. Okay, just a little white in that one. That's going to be our cream. Then we're going to do the same over here, what we did for the frappuccino. We are going to do a little bit of the light color, 2 drips, and 1 drip of the dark. Okay, I actually did 2 drips of that. I'm going to bring this back in since I didn't clean it, and might as well. Oh, wait, no, that had the other epoxy in it. Oh, gosh, you guys, I almost flubbed because that's got the other epoxy on it, not the UV epoxy. Oh, that would not have gone well. That would not have gone over well. All right, so now I'm just going to have to vigorously stir this one. It's going to take a second to make sure all that paint is blended. I'm going to put you on high speed. All right, guys, now we've got our ice in the cup. I have a total of 4 chips in there now. They're sticking up just a little bit, but I have tested with the cap, so I know the cap goes on. The little ice will stick above. That's fine. It'll just give it a really cool effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take this and we're going to swirl this around and do the different colors and the different layers to make it look kind of like a vanilla latte that's kind of been poured in there with the espresso and then the creamer and all that good stuff. It's really fun. So we're just going to do a little bit. And just pouring it down, letting it settle down in the cup as it goes, a little at a time, mixing the colors, but not letting them blend, but just pouring them in separate, layer to layer to layer, so we get a really cool swirl pattern. Okay, we're going to go all the way up to the lip. All right, without going over. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool from the side. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Now I'm going to let this, I normally actually add that last ice cube at the end. I didn't think about that. Pouring over the top of it is going to change the way it looks. So here you guys go. I got a little ahead of myself in this tutorial. I actually had to, this is the second time I filmed it because the last one I filmed, well here, this is what it normally looks like. I filmed and the camera didn't turn on. So I already filmed pouring it and I had to remix and pour. So this is what it normally looks like. So I was rushing through that one. So this is what it normally looks like. It's got the little ice cubes sticking up. I put the last one in last. And now we'll just go ahead and stick these both in. I'm going to tap it down. I can see an air bubble. Get it out of there. Okay, we'll just stick these both on. So that's the one I just did to show you guys me pouring, my little pouring technique of the mixing. This is the one I just did a second ago. And we are going to turn on our UV light. There we go. We're going to slide those in. We're going to run them through 2, maybe 3 full cycles of 120 seconds. So we're probably going to leave them in there for about 5 minutes. because that is a very thick batch of epoxy in that cup. But what's really fun is, unlike this one that I now have to let cure for 9 hours before I can tip it to the side and show you that one, that's our frappuccino. This one, by the time it comes out of there, all that epoxy will be cured and I can tip it to the side and you guys can see the really cool swirl. So I'm just gonna keep letting these run. I'm gonna probably leave them in there for about 5 minutes, keep turning the light back on. Again, if you have these, just stick them out in the sun for a few hours. And this natural sunlight will cure that UV. All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, and because I'm always budget friendly over here at LittleLee and Rose, I'm going to show you how to do the chocolate drizzle on top of these. This is the leftover of the UV resin. Remember, I was a little bummed because I poured too much. And then it was like, I had my aha moment. I was like, oh, I can show you the chocolate drizzle. I want to darken this up just a little bit. We're going to try to make it look like dark chocolate, a little darker. I should even add maybe just a half a drop of black just to get it really dark, but this is going to be good. So it's all personal preference, guys. This is not like you have to do it my way. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make the chocolate drizzly swirl that they do at the coffee shops. It's really fun. You just get, if you're going to have some overpour, it's okay. We're just adding our chocolate. Swirl across the top. I am not a professional. I never worked in a coffee shop. I'm just winging it. And this is the UV resin, guys. I'm going to stick these right in there with those cups. All right, here we go. I'm going to slide these out because it's you have the capacity with these lights to put it as much as what'll fit in there. So I'm going to slide these over. If you want a more substantial drizzle, you can actually take the caulking and mix it with the paint as well and do a drizzle that way. There's so many creative ways to do this, you guys. I personally like the whipped cream left white, but I want to show you guys this technique. That one's not going to fit in there, so we are going to leave him out. But we'll get to him. And we're just going to keep turning that light on and off. All right, we'll be back. All right, guys, here we are. We are back. These have gone under this one was done under the UV light, but look how cool that looks. You can see all like the milky swirl with the coffee. It looks exactly like a coffee from a coffee shop. So cool. This is your frappuccino with the little bits of ice down in there and the drizzle. This is your mocha frappuccino with the chocolate drips. And this is your slushy. How fun is that? All right, so now we're gonna put the lids on. We're gonna get our little dollop of whipped cream on this guy. We're gonna put our lids on, and then I will show you tomorrow what we're gonna put the labels on, how we're gonna do that to make those little teeny labels. So here is our dollop of whipped cream. I'm gonna push that on there. Perfect. All right, so how stinking cute is that? So cute. This one is the whipped cream that was the silicone caulk. This one, the mastic caulking. All right, so that's the swirly dirly. We're gonna put the lids on now. So what I'm gonna use is my little toothpicks. We're gonna use some EO6. You can do these a couple ways. If you have epoxy laying around, you can actually just put a little epoxy there and stick the lid down. If you don't have epoxy, we can use this EO6. I use a toothpick so I don't overdo it. So I just get a little on a toothpick because these are so small, these little things. Put the lid on the EO6. We'll start with this one. And I'm just gonna carefully run it along the edge here. It doesn't take a lot, guys. My husband is being a champion in the house right now with my kiddos. We officially, like I said, have three-nagers. It's gonna be a fun year. Triplet 3-year-olds, holy bananas. Everyone says terrible twos. Our twos are a breeze. We're coming into the threes. Okay, so we are Just gonna do this along the edge. Sorry, I had to stop and get a little extra. Put it here. All right, I'm gonna throw that in my little trash can. And we are gonna pop the lid down on there. Perfect. Now I'm not gonna touch this for 24 hours after that. I wanna make sure that seal, press on it really, really good. And I'm gonna set that to the side. So is that not adorable? This is gonna be your little 7-Eleven slushy. Or what is it? I always get slushies when we go to the zoo. They have them, and that's really the only place I have gotten one. Oh, when I was pregnant with the triplets. All I wanted was a baked potato and a Slurpee. That was my craving, was the Slurpees. Then sugar made me super sick. So I'm gonna put the next two lids on these guys. You've already seen it. We're just gonna do the exact same thing with the E6000 and go, I call it E06 or something. I always call this something wrong. So E6000. I'm gonna go and do both of these and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, guys, and everything is dried, everything's cured, and we are ready for the next step. I wanted to show off the 3 different styles of whipped cream that we did. You can see this is the one that's the plaster, what is that, spackle? This is the spackle and the umbrage glue. This is honestly the one, I like this one because it kind of looks very, very real. This one's a little bit hokey, but it's, if you want a really dramatic effect, that's the one that is the sculpting product, and this is the silicone caulking from the dollar store. So you can see they just have 3 totally different looks. This one I drizzled with a little chocolate for effect. I only used one. I just did this so you guys can see your options for products that you can use to make these, so you know that you're not just pigeonholed into one type of item to make these. Really, you can find household stuff that'll work for you and make a super cute thing. We're gonna work with a little UV resin now. I'm gonna set these just off to the side so they're out of the way. We're gonna work with a little UV resin. We're gonna put our decals on the cups, and we are gonna use water. These are gonna be little water slides. The best, to me personally, the best and easiest way to get a really detailed design on these cups for their little logos and labels is to use water slide, because or printable vinyl, I guess, or sticker paper, but I'm gonna use water slide, and then I'm gonna seal it in underneath just a touch of this UV resin. So I have my UV light over here off camera. You guys have seen me use it before in other tutorials, and I'm just gonna go one by one. Now, one of these I know is gonna be, these are gonna be little stocking stuffers that I'm making, so I know I actually want that one to go on that one. So we're gonna just start with one. These are white water slides, you guys. We're just gonna stick it in the water and hold it in there for about 90 seconds. These are printed with inkjet. A little trick, if you can't get your printer to cut your white water slide, you want to cover the edges of that line with matte finish tape. So like Scotch tape, but matte finish instead of glossy, and it will read through that and read. I think sometimes with the white water slide, it's so shiny that the light bounces off the shine, and so it can't read your black line. So by putting the matte flat tape over the top, it makes it to where it can read that line a little bit better. Let's test this and see if it's moving. Not quite yet. It needs a minute. Needs a minute. Maybe I'll put these in there so they're ready. I'll put the next one in so it's getting ready while we're doing this one, because this goes quick. Once you start getting them ready, they go pretty decent. There we go. Oops, I should have probably just waited. I forced it, guys. It's all right, we can fix it. There we go, okay. I forced it and cracked it, but I was able to push the crack together, and you won't even see the crack with the epoxy on it. So what I'm just doing is I'm sliding the backing, I'm holding my thumb on it. Sorry, hold it at the angle so you can see it. I'm holding the thumb on it, and I'm sliding the backing out. And then dab my finger so I don't screw it up. We're just gonna slowly place the decal down. We can use my brush to kind of move it. You can see the crack just a little bit. You want to try to fiddle with your sticker as little as possible. Perfect. There we go. Starbucks. Okay, so I'm going to set that one off to the side to dry. Meanwhile, this one should be ready. I'm not going to force this one. I'm just going to see if it moves. I made the fatal mistake, guys, of spraying it after I cut it. So I had to go back through and hand cut around the edge. So it's sticking to the paper a little bit because it's that stupid glue. It was a rookie error that I made. But I was rushing, trying to get these ready for you guys. I'm always rushing. I always say, don't do as I do. Don't do as I say, guys. Don't do as I do as I say. Don't rush, because you'll mess stuff up. Let's see, this side or that side. I'm gonna put it on this side. So this is another one. This has the actual logo on it. The other one is just a fun Hello Kitty one. And lay that on there just like that. Smooth it out with my wet silicone brush. Perfect. Oop, that's a little crooked actually. I want it over here. Perfect. But see how much detail you guys can get in there, guys, by using the printable water slide, the white water slide. You can get the whole decal on there perfectly without having to cut those tiny, tiny, fine little lines and all that goodies with your other. So now we're going to jump right into our third one. This one's going to be an icy. I was toying with a Slurpee. We went with icy. I like this logo cute. I think it's cuter. So let's see if these are ready. This one might be a little more difficult. It was harder to cut around the lines of this one. So when you guys do this, make sure you spray it before you cut it. If you are using inkjet. If you're not using inkjet, you don't have to spray it at all. You can just use your laser printer. And then you don't have to seal it. I use inkjet. I have laser and inkjet, but I order and use laser water slide because it's a little bit cheaper, and I actually like there, that one's good. I actually really like my printer, my inkjet printer. Oh, that's so cute. So that one's gonna be on one side with a little icy. That doesn't even mean, I don't even need to use my brush on that one. Super cute, right in the middle. Okay, now let's check this one. Sorry guys, this is a little bit tedious. Usually I put you on high speed, but these are so tiny and I've never done this with you guys before. So I'm gonna work through it nice and slow. So you see I've got it halfway slid off. We're gonna line it up here. And slide that paper out. Sorry, you can hear my kids playing in the background with their papa. Daddy's home today. Well, he's not home. He's home for a couple hours. Home for lunch. A little family time right in the middle of the day. All right, so that's super cute. There's our icy. All right, so we're just gonna let these dry and we'll be right back, guys.
Finger.
Are you using one finger?
Yeah.
Okay. One finger, guys.
Don't touch
That looks like a lot more than one finger. That if you're picking it up, you're using more than one finger.
Don't.
Okay, when I turned my back, my triplets got in here and we're playing. They cannot resist the little tiny things, like the little pet shop things that in the little Polly Pockets. Those are their favorite toys. 3 years old and everything they want is tiny. So of course they saw these tiny little coffees and Slurpees and they could not help themselves. So if you want to see a super cute blooper reel, I filmed two of my triplets over here having a full-on conversation about who gets to hold what and how much they get to touch and what they are. But in the middle of that, they actually kind of ruined them. So I really let my kids explore and touch things and check things out. So that's why I was letting them play with them. You can see there's little fingerprints on everything right now. That's just who I am as a mom. I don't want them to be afraid of exploring. So I let them touch them, but we messed up our icy a little bit. The Hello Kitty, they actually ripped it off because they saw the little kitten and they're like, cat! And they pulled the sticker off. It hadn't quite dried, it was still wet. But that actually turned out as a good thing because I can show you guys, I didn't even think about this, I should show you guys what this is like to work with the sticker paper because we're gonna add, I was already gonna do this for the next step is add our fun little details, but I'm gonna show you the Starbucks label done on clear printable sticker paper. This will be linked under the tutorial, guys. I'm a big fan of this. I find it pretty easy to work with because it's nice and stiff. So if water slide gives you fits, if clear water slide gives you fits, this is an option because it's a lot easier to work with. You see, you just peel it back like a sticker. Whoop. But it will be more hollow, so it won't have such heavy pigment. And let's see if we can get it. There we go. Trying to decide placement. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it right here. There we go. So you can see this is more like the clear cups. You can kind of see the difference there. We've got the white background and no white background. It really is just what your personal preference goes for and what you're looking for in the end product and the end result. And then I printed out these super cute, this is the little selection thing that says like the name, and then it says like sugar, cream, or you know, with the things that they check off on the sides. I don't know, you guys, I don't drink caffeine. So I just know this is part of their thing that they ask you these questions and they fill out these little boxes. And I think the little boxes add a fun little detail. So I'm gonna add them to the cups. But I try not to touch them with my hands because my hands leave fingerprints. So I'm trying to just get it started and then press it down, and there you go. So there's a very, very, very faint line for the sticker paper, guys, but it's so faint it's not even worth, I don't find it to be even worth bothering with. So we have, we do it just like the Starbucks cup with the logo on the side and the selection bar. So the logo kind of what would be the front and the selection side on the bar on the side. I'm gonna add this one to the other one just to finish it. I've tried doing this in white water slides so you can see it better, guys. It does not work because these are all very, very tiny, tiny features, and it wants to cut out each individual feature. And that is why the clear sticker paper works for this. See, if you select a spot that's a little bit darker with a darker coffee spot, it shows up a little bit better. Actually, maybe it would have been better on the white. I don't know, but it looks fine. So there we go. So that adds a nice little fun detail. I'm gonna go ahead and finish out this icy one off camera, probably replace that, and then we will be right back, guys. See you soon. Okay, now we're gonna work with our UV resin. We've got our UV light set up right here. I redid the icy. I did it in the clear sticker paper because I had it right next to me. I didn't have to reprint and cut. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put literally a dot of the UV resin over the top of the decal, and we're gonna spread it out just on the decal. This is just to protect it. I'm going right on the edge. I'm not gonna go over the edge. I don't wanna create any visible change in the plastic around the decal. I just wanna put a layer of this over the decal to protect it from sliding off or ripping off or coming off easily. This is where it gets a little tedious. Just being nice and careful. Piece of glitter. It's everywhere. Glitter is everywhere. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the little Starbucks words. I mean, the little selection spot. Perfect, so there we go. Front, side, back. We're gonna stick it under here, turn on the light, and slide that bad boy in there. So this epoxy cures under UV light, as you guys saw before. It's very nice. Again, you can use the sunshine if you do not have this special light. You can also get a UV flashlight. So we're just gonna do this, This is very easy. Again, this one is clear sticker paper, so you can see it's a little bit more transparent. It doesn't have the opaqueness like the white sticker paper does. But it just depends on what effect you're gonna go for. I'm concentrating really hard, guys. I always get quiet when I'm concentrating. I always tell that to my clients when I'm doing hair. I'm like, I'm really thinking when I'm quiet, because I'm never quiet. I love talking. I love talking. Talking's my favorite. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna wipe just a teeny weeny bit. It went over the edge here just a smidge, so we're just gonna clean that up. Sorry, you're gonna probably hear my Cuban mama. She's in there. Well, she's not my mom, she's my husband's mom, but I call her mama. All right, guys, so we're gonna stick this one under the light. This one, I'm gonna do the same thing. You guys are seeing the process. We're just gonna put the little dollop on there, a little dollop on there. We're gonna stick it under the light. We'll be right back. All right, guys, here we are. We've got them all finished. They're so fun. They're so cute. We've had a whole bunch of people coming in and out of the house today, and they're all checking these out and trying to steal them. And I said, you can't steal them. I got to finish my tutorial. So you can see this one's got the water slide on it, the clear water slide. This is the fun one. And then this one is the icy with the clear as well. And then this side, you can see this is the white. So you guys, I left this one. I was actually going to switch it to clear, but I want to show you the difference. So this is on the white, and this is on the clear. So you can see the difference. It's gonna be preference on what you like to work with. And then this is the cute with the Starbucks on the side, the little toggles. So I hope you guys learned some fun stuff. I will be doing more in-depth ones of these in the future. This is gonna be your basics. This is the frappuccino, the icy, and the iced latte. But we'll get more in-depth with crazy ones, sangrias, and all that crazy stuff in another tutorial. But this is just to get you the basics idea of what we do with these little cups and how to make them. All right, guys, I hope you learned something new. Check out all my other tutorials. If this is the first tutorial you've seen of me, I don't do all little tiny things. I do big giant tumblers and crazy cups and teach you how to do fun designs on stuff like this. So check out my channel, and you can follow along step by step and learn how to make some pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, see you on the next tutorial.